So let's dive in. Let's dive in then to the goal achieving system that I'll be sharing with you tonight. And as I mentioned before we started recording, is that this is something I started to implement first time back in 2010. The first year, I was not super consistent with it, but I started doing it. And then from 2011, I was very consistent with it. And the tracker and everything I will share, I started really doing it on a daily basis. And 2011, I really, because I was so consistent in the right habits with tracking and everything, I really started seeing good growth in my personal level, but also in the business. And 2012, that's where I really started seeing good growth. And that was, of course, I started reaping what I had been sowing over the last year and a half there. And 2013 is when I really hit some good results in this profession, 2013. And then I kept doing this 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And I've been doing it every year since 2010. But 10, I was not so consistent. But 11, I've been consistent. And for 4 or 5 years in a row, I did it daily. I was super consistent with these things. And I have to say, I believe it's one of the key things why I have started seeing continuous growth, I would say, on a personal level, but also in the business. And what's good with the system I'm going to talk about to track your activities as well is that if you track things, like I track exercises, I can go in and see exactly how many exercises I did this year. And this is part of my goal setting for next year, because then I'm going to go back and look at how many exercises did I do this, or how many presentations, 2-on-1s, short presentations, did I do this year? So I can look to set a goal so I can hire the activity and raise the bar for next year. But before I go into the achieving system, let's talk about a couple of things behind the action, because the program running your computer, meaning the software, meaning your mindset, if we look at your mindset and everything behind achievement and success, it starts with, of course, to create a direction, right? Because often if you talk to most people and you ask them, what do you want? What do you want out of life? What's your goals? Or what's your vision with your life? Most people, what do they say? I don't know. And you can never hit a target you cannot see. Sadly, this is like driving a car. We drop you off in a city you don't know, with no GPS, nothing. And we tell you, okay, welcome to Chicago. Let's meet you at Iron Street. How will you find Iron Street? Without a map or GPS, right? And then you will just end up randomly wandering around, driving around, and where will you end up? The place where nobody will know, right? Because you can't tell, there's no direction. So I want you to really think about what take time. Sadly, most people take more time and doing the grocery list than planning their life, right? So take time to really think about these things. What do you want? Ask yourself, what do I want out of life? What makes me happy? And when you write down what you want, I urge you to go deeper. Okay, for example, I asked one person a couple of days ago, so yeah, welcome to Cincinnati. You started, what do you want to create? What do you want out of this? Yeah, I want to make 5,000 a month. Okay. So here's where you should do it yourself. What I asked this person, why do you want to make 5,000 a month? And this person said with a job, because this person was not happy with his job. He felt locked, and he felt he had been there for too many years with no progress, and he was quite unhappy with his situation. So he said, yeah, I want freedom. He said, I want to get out of my job. So that's the second one. What do you want? I want 5K. Okay, but why do you want 5K? I want to get out of my job. Okay, but why do you want to get out of your job? What would you do? How would it look like? And then the person said, yeah, but I want more freedom. Okay, how does freedom look like for you? And then the person starts, yeah, the freedom to wake up in the morning when I don't have to wake up to the alarm clock, don't have to go to the job where I don't want to go. Okay. And then go deeper, ask why, 5, 6 levels down on yourself. Do this on yourself because it needs to be something deeper. Money is a strong driver. Absolutely. People who say money is not a strong driver, they haven't thought in depth. Because if you ask many people, there's surveys that prove that an American was 82%, they dislike their job. There was a European one, there's different ones, but one I read was 64% of the Europeans didn't like the job, of Scandinavians. So why do they go to the job? Money is the only reason, which means people are doing things for money. We live in a world where you need money. Turn on the lights, you need money. This year, probably you realize that turning on the light got even more expensive. So now all of a sudden, many need more money. So people, money is a strong, good driver, yes. But to keep you going after the 5K, 4K, 2K, 1,000, whatever it is, it needs to be something deeper. But of course, if you're sinking right now, of course, you just want that lifeline, of course, to get yourself above the surface, of course. So there's nothing wrong with it. I talked to a person last this is a couple of weeks ago, who said, was also a guy, he said, yeah, just do this for money. And he asked me, do you think that's wrong that I only do this for money? And this person was also not happy with his job. He wanted freedom. He wanted more, as he said, I want a life because I have no life. I go to work too late, morning too late, as he said, because he's in Northern Europe. He said, I when I leave, it's dark. When I get to the office, it's dark. When I walk out of the office, it's dark. And he said, I only do this for money. I said, okay, yeah. Okay, that. And he said, do you think that is something wrong? And I said, there's nothing wrong. Then just asking questions. So you say you do this for money. How much money do you want to make here? And this guy thought big. He wanted to make like, I don't know, 25K. I think it was 25,000 a month in a couple of years. Okay. So money is your driver. But then I just ask questions, right? Okay, you say you just do this for money. You want 25K. So what would you do with that money? Why do you want the money? And then he started talking about people in his family who are suffering financially. And when the mother, after father died, had no money and stuff. So just by asking questions, this guy thought he did it only for the money, but asking, there was so much depth behind, and there was such a strong driver to help his family. So this is why I urge you to, it's easy just to think, like this guy said, I do this for money, but asking a couple of questions, you realize quite quick, yeah, you do this for money, but what are you going to do with the money? Because money is very important in life. And money is like toilet paper, right? You don't realize how important it is until you sit there and there's none of it left. So yes, it is important, but go deeper. What do you want to do with it? What will it give you? And then the thing I would recommend you to do is 10 things you wish your life was. Put on a song after, take the time, do this. 10 things you wish your life was. What would you do? What do you want to be? What do you want to have? What do you want to contribute to? And then try to find something, because people who succeed, almost always, the best partners that I work with is people who want more than they have today. There's some kind of hunger, because as you see in the picture here, your dream and your reality, the bigger the gap, the bigger the hunger. So of course, it starts by you think about what you want out of your business. What do you want out of your life? And I would also recommend do this in family life, relationships, finances, career, health, so we can create the right habits within multiple fields, so you can start winning in multiple fields. So let's go to what is behind the actions and achievements, because now what I want you to start thinking about, this is why I have this book here. I would highly recommend you to read this. If you read it again. Think and Grow Rich. Chapter 2 is about desire. Chapter 4 is auto-suggestion. No matter if you just started, no matter what, I want you to really, really read this book. And I say read it, like if you look at mine, I mean, underline, like if you see here, I've underlined, I take notes in it and everything. And I highly recommend you to do this and then reread your notes. And the auto-suggestion is fundamental, because here is where we're going to start programming your self-belief. Here's where we're going to start building that belief in you, because it starts there, because there is the physical side of success, which is the actions. But you know what's more important? The spiritual side of success. And the spiritual side of success is your self-image. It's the belief. It's the faith. It's the eternal things that you cannot see. I don't care what you believe in. You can think I'm not a spiritual person. No, but it's time to be spiritual about yourself, about your self-image. And Think and Grow Rich, just so you understand why you have to read this book. Napoleon Hill, he started working for, I think he was the richest man in the world 100 years ago, Andrew Carnegie, a steel magnate. He started working for Andrew Carnegie, and Andrew Carnegie wanted to create success principles to give to the people. This is a later stage of Andrew Carnegie's life. He wanted to create success principles to pass on to people so people could get the secret to success. And he hired Napoleon. He asked Napoleon Hill if he was willing to give 20 years of his life interviewing, picking the brain of all the most successful people back then. We're talking here the Rockefeller, we're talking Thomas Edison, we're talking about Henry Ford, and so many more, Theodore Roosevelt. And he sat down with many of the most successful people back then. And for 20 years, he picked their brain and he summarized into this book. So you can get 20 years of researching hundreds of years of the sharpest minds' wisdoms. And you got it here. Think and Grow Rich. So what is behind the actions? There you can see we have the achievement results. As I said, the physical things is the actions, right? So look at your vision. Look at the standards you set for your life, for yourself, your attitude, how consistent you are, what you're focusing on, the mindset, the skill sets, right? Which is actions, and the skill set is the physical side of success. But on the other side of achieving the result is the most important things, and that is the invisible. And this is what you have to start building. It's the self-image and the belief. For me, growing up, most of my childhood with a single mother, I spent 85-90% of the time with my mother. She was a single mother, bartender. She always gave me love and a safe home. So I was lucky. And then my father spent 15% time there. He just didn't live in the city where I went to school. So I went there and spent less time there. But I always got, good family life in that they were separated, but she had a new wife since she has a new wife since 35 years, right? So since I was 4 years old, so I'm the second mother. So I always got love and everything. But my mother came from a, let's say like this, least to say, very dysfunctional family. She left home very early, lived a lot of part of her life alone. So when it comes to auto-suggestion, prosperity mindset, zero of that for me growing up, zero. So my self-image and my belief in myself was actually very low. And I was lucky when I was 20 years old, I saw network marketing 19 years ago, November 2003. I went to an event, heard about goal setting, dreams, how you can become a winner, heard about Think and Grow Rich. I read Tony Robbins' books. I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I listened to everything I could find with Brian Tracy. And I already there saw Randy Gage and studied what I could find. And I was 20 years old. I started to programming myself. But of course, I stayed consistent every week with reading, listening and learning, but it took me years to grow that self-image. And it took me a decade more to really start understanding the spiritual side of success, because you can see you might as well. I mean, you could be one of those like I was. Took the right actions, no results. Because I didn't have the right self-image. I didn't have the right belief in myself. I didn't have the right vision and standard for myself. Because if you look at the vision for yourself, the consistency is in direct correlation to your self-image. Because if your self-image, you can see somebody was coaching one, she's quite overweight. She wanted to lose weight. So I helped her with some habits and stuff. And the problem was her self-image was, this is what she said: I'm a fat person. I cannot lose weight because I am a fat person. So what I told her was like, but this is your self-image, right? Stop affirming that, and don't tell yourself that you're a fat person. You're not a fat person. Yeah, you're overweight right now, but that doesn't mean you have to be overweight tomorrow. Of course, you're going to lose all the weight in one day, but tomorrow in the future, right? So I thought, let's start reprogramming. And I asked her just questions like, do you know anybody that's fit, that is not you say you're a fat person? Do you know people are not a fat person? And she said, yeah, I know many. Give an example of them. And then I asked her, what kind of habits? What is the difference in their habits and your habits? And she started talking about her habits. And just by asking the right questions, she started realizing that the problem here was already her self-image. I told her, I don't want to hear you to say that you are that. No. This is the result right now, because we found out with questions that she said, no, I eat so unhealthy. She was drinking so much Coca-Cola and eating chips and stuff often. And I said, yeah, your habits is of a person that have the results we have today. But let's look at how can we change this self-image so you can put a higher standard for yourself. Because if we change her self-image from, she says, I am this kind of person. Yeah, but let's look at how we can change that kind of person, because no matter who you are, you can move. You're not a tree, which means we can move. So let's start creating a better self-image. So just asking, how would it look like? How much weight would you like to lose for you to be a fit person? And all of a sudden, she started thinking about the solution. And just ask her, I mean, what in your habits do you think you would need to change? Based on what you told me, that you're drinking too much Coca-Cola daily and this. Yeah, I have to probably stop drinking this and stop doing this and move. I never exercise. And then all of a sudden, step by step, we started working on that self-image. And this is when I left the company like a month after, and she was so disappointed. Sadly, I didn't get to work with her again. But she's done progress, of course. Reach out every now and then, and she's done progress. And her self-image is better. But it starts here. I want you to work on these things. Look at yourself. Because at the end of the day, who are you to put a stamp on yourself? Who are you to put so low standard on yourself? Who are you to tell yourself you cannot become a president with Zinzino? Often you hear people say, I'm not interested in money. I don't care. You know why? Often it's lack of belief. It's a self-image. When a person has too low self-image, they don't dare to believe that they can do it. They don't feel that they deserve this. If there's somewhere you should spend time on growing, it's the self-image. It's the belief. Because if you look at, I'm going to come to a slide soon, if you're looking in Think and Grow Rich, because thoughts are things. You have to start be aware of what you're telling yourself. Back to the auto-suggestion, right? Dare to write down goals. Dare to tell them to yourself. Dare to create that vision board. Dare to tell people about big dreams and goals and aspirations. Of course, people gave up on their own dreams or have low self-image or low self-belief. They will tell you why you cannot do it. Absolutely, they will. Be okay with this. But we have to work on this, because your results starts with a spiritual side of success. It's self-image and belief. And there is one guy I would recommend you to study, and that is Bob Proctor. My first company, I was, 1 year in, 2 years in, started a guy. He was 22 years old. He was not in my team. but I got to know him very well. And we actually texted as well last week. But Bob Proctor, of course, Bob Proctor loved network marketing. His wife, Linda Proctor, was actually in the same company as me. That's why I was lucky to spend some time with Bob, and he was speaking at events. But he talked about the spiritual side of success. You know, the secret of telling it's done to yourself. But listen, not telling yourself it's going to happen. You have to put emotions behind it. You have to start believing it from the inside. When you put emotions and belief, and you start believing what you're telling yourself that you can be a success, it's going to happen. But it starts with you working on that self-image and belief. But Bob Proctor started coaching some of the people, and this guy who was 22 years old, he lived in the US, so his sponsor was a guy, 26, 27, was making $200K a month in that company. He was actually, because his father was so close with Bob, so they were directly sitting with Bob a lot, getting mentored by Bob. And this guy was 22 years old. After 9 months, he was not even making $500 a month. But then he had worked on himself. So probably 1 year in, he was maybe making $2,000, $3,000 a month, 1.5 years in. And he said loud, I'm gonna be a millionaire in this profession. I'm gonna make $1 million a month. Said out loud. At this point, he's making $2,000 a month. And he was pure energy, excitement, and he's not the smartest, right? So it's like, when he thought, like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And you can see this guy really believed it, because he worked on his self-image. So he had emotions that he believed this. He believed it. And he went to work. He made $1 million in 3 years with that company. Today, he's 33. He's making $2.5 million a month in this profession. Why do I share that? I share that because I saw people who started working with all this, the spiritual side of success, from Think and Grow Rich with Bob Proctor, and really programmed themselves to massive success, to really build that self-image. And in the beginning, they talked about money always. Maybe it's my Swedish side. I'm half Swedish, half Italian. Like, they're so materialistic. But yeah, that's money is good to measure, right? It's the perfect measuring tool. For me, money is not the biggest driver, but am I going to make $1 million a month? Do I believe that? I believe that. I will do it. Not for the money, service to people. That means, imagine how many people I've helped if I reach that goal. So I'm gonna hit it by serving tens of thousands of people. Then that comes automatically. I share this because I just want to challenge you to dare to believe bigger, because the problem is we think too small about ourselves. It took me many years to start building a self-image. It took me many years to start believing in me. Me and Javier sat with Urian back in 2017 in Spain. Javier was executive at the time, brand new executive. I flew him to Marbella in 2017. We sat with Urian, and Javier asked Urian, what is an advice you would give yourself? Because Javier was probably 26 at the time, almost. He was early 17, so he was 25 even. What would you tell yourself, a 25-year-old self, Urian? What advice would you give yourself at 25? Look, and then Urian told Javi and me, he said, I wish I believed bigger earlier. And this is a journey. Some of you, what I've said, so some of those things might be so far in a distant. Absolutely. It was for me. But I don't believe that you can make it so huge. You can go get 1 million customers over the next 1-2 decades with Encino. I don't only believe that, I know it. I've seen too many evidence of people who, I can promise you, intelligence lower than you, potential lower than you, network not as good as you, but it took massive action on the spiritual side of success, combined with massive action in the business every day. Absolutely. But read it, Think and Grow Rich. Read You Were Born Rich with Bob Proctor. Start programming this, because we are too often living way below our potential because we don't allow ourselves to believe bigger. And if we don't build that self-image, imagine how many people out there that can live a better life if you go out and grow yourself. Because it starts with you growing yourself. So Your results comes from your habits. Your habits is formed by consistent action. Of course, your feelings determine what action you take. Behind the feelings is the thoughts. What creates the thoughts is the input and what you focus on. Of course, if you read the news every day, of course, your success consciousness will go down a lot. Of course, because you're programming your mind with junk. So every day, how you program yourself. I read auto suggestion again today, and I reread it Friday morning, or Thursday, Friday. Read the whole chapter, underlined again in another Think and Grow Rich, the other one, once, because repetition is mother of learning. There's no gift you can give yourself that is sweeter than building that self-image, that you deserve success. Nothing is better. But remember, you will feel silly in the beginning. You will feel strange when you write that goal and start saying them loud to yourself. Oof, so uncomfortable. But if you combine that with action, start seeing progress, building a self-image, the belief through what you're reading, listening, who you're associating with, seeing the stories of people having success that you want, program yourself that you can do it, they can do it, you can do it. You see evidence after evidence in Cincino. There's no limits to what you can create. And I've seen it over and over again, like this 22-year-old crazy guy that I fought. I mean, what he has created by taking massive action on himself, on the business, on his self-image and his belief. He actually was supposed to arrange an event with Bob Proctor. Sadly, Bob died last year. So he's arranging it by himself now in Miami. I'm going in January. And he's bringing some huge thinkers and huge achievers. So it's going to be interesting to listen to this. But the self-image and belief is where it starts. If you look at Think and Grow Rich, this is the formula. This is not the success goal achieving system I'm going to give you. But if you look at the 6 steps to ultimate success, number 1, what is it that you want? You have to fix your mind on the exact amount of money you want, because clarity is power. Be definite. Be definite. I'm going to share my vision board at the end because I recommend be clear. Just take a keynote or copy paste pictures, find inspiring pictures. I'm going to show my vision board at the end, how I did it, a keynote or PowerPoint. I just find what I want, copy, paste in a keynote. Very simple. Then I used to print it. I had my vision board next to the computer, next to my TV, on the fridge, on the bathroom mirror. When I started, when I was 20 years old, one of the speakers shared a story. His friend started in network marketing. He wanted a Porsche. He printed a picture after read Think and Grow Rich on a Porsche. He put it on the fridge, put it in the bathroom mirror. His wife was so annoyed to see this Porsche everywhere in the home. There was a date when he's going to buy this Porsche and everything. And his wife was so annoyed by this Porsche. Every morning she's making makeup and stuff, and she sees this Porsche. And then one day, the date he had set actually, he came home with a Porsche. What do you think happened the morning after? He walked into the bathroom, look in the mirror, and there's a picture of a bag. So now the wife had printed a bag and put all over the home, and she was complaining about this. So what you focus on, reprogram your subconscious mind is also what you will put energy into every day. When you focus so much on that, every day you will program your mind to find solutions, to want to take the right actions. So it starts with what do you want? Be definite. Write a number. Write also down. So, for example, if you write down, I can share my goals. I have nothing to hide ever. $1 million a month. Will I make it? Absolutely. 100 million I will have in assets when I'm 60, that 20 years to have 100 million in assets. So for example, what do you want? I write down $100 million in assets in 20 years. 1 million a month in 10 years. Number two is what can you give? So what do you intend to give in return for that money? Then I wrote, by service to people, I will achieve these goals. I will help people believe in themselves, believe in their dreams, and I'll help people with their health. By supporting enough people, I will hit this target. So that's what I'm willing to give, is going out there and just service to the masses, to serve the people. That's what I'm giving every day. Set a deadline, clear date, when I'm going to hit these goals. Then I make a plan and start implementing it today, because the timing will never be right. Ready or not, create that plan. How many presentations a day do I need to do next decade? How many new personal partner will I need to sponsor over next years? How many new customers? What do I need to do to reach my goals? And then you write it down. And then you have to sum up 1, 2, 3, 4 in a clearly written statement. And you can read it out loud twice a day, every morning, every night. And this is what will seem odd, strange in the beginning. But you know what? If you want to live like 1% of the population, or 0.1, you also have to be willing to do what 0.1 or 0.01 are willing to do. It's not normal to do this, but it's not normal results you want, I guess. So go out and create these things. Start manifesting it by putting emotions behind it. Start believing it. The first week, you might not believe it. But when the self-image grows, like my goals in the beginning was like, if I can make 2,500 euros a month with this profession, or 3,000, would be magical. And then when I wrote down 10,000 euros in 2 to 4 years, I didn't believe it. I have to be honest, I didn't believe it. I didn't. I wrote on 10K, I'm going to make 10K. I'm determined, I'm going to do it. But it was actually really uncomfortable writing down 10,000. And you know what? I even hid those goals. I didn't share those with people really, because I was so with people in presentations and in business, but outside of my family and stuff, I felt so uncomfortable because it was my self-image. I was programmed by below average results getter. If you look at income, where the average income is, and single mother bartender. So of course I didn't have the self-image. So it took me years to program this. But when I programmed this, success started to become easy. But the hard thing is this up here. So thoughts becomes feelings, which determine what actions you take equals the results, right? So be very, very, I don't have time to go into positive, negative thoughts, how you program your mind and stuff, but be very careful what you tell yourself. Be very careful. Don't joke about yourself. Don't pity yourself. Speak life into your goals. Speak life into a new you, because next level for you requires a new you, right? Next level results will require next level you. Temptations will come. You set that goal, you set that plan. Most days, or many days, still for me, probably almost, I don't know exactly, but I would guess that probably a 50-50. 50% of the days I don't even feel like doing what I need to do. Then I look at my vision board. Then I remind me of the people that need me. Remind me of the people I'm serving. Remind me of the people that will live a better life because I get into their life. So then I have to reach out to more people to reach more people. That's how I program myself, right? So, but this is how you stop addiction in life as well, no matter what addiction. You're a smoker, you want to stop smoking? Yeah. You stop. I got Barbara in Italy. She tried to stop smoking for a long time. She came to the event. I said, she's smoking, seriously. You represent health and you smoke. Yeah, but I want to smoke. Yeah, you said that last year, Barbara. When are you going to stop? Yeah, but I will stop. You really want to stop? Let's stop now then. No, but let's stop now. Okay. So you want to stop? Yeah. Took her cigarettes, threw them away. Good, you stopped. But I told her, have you made a decision that you really or have stopped? Yeah, I've quit smoking. No. Okay, but here it comes. Temptation tomorrow will come. So when that comes, you have to catch that temptation feeling and replace it with something. So what are you going to replace that with tomorrow? When you feel like smoking tomorrow, because you will feel like smoking tomorrow. Some of you put a plan, you're going to invite 3 people tomorrow. Probably you won't feel like doing it. Probably you will not feel like doing it. So what are you going to do tomorrow when you don't feel like it? This is something I also recommend you go deeper on with yourself. And then one of the biggest killer of dreams is we're so worried what other people think about us. And this is back to I was so afraid to share, because some of my friends actually, when I started in this profession, most of my friends actually laughed at me. They told me I was naive. My own father kind of ridiculed me. But then I heard this at the mastermind event, this example, 2011 by Orrin Woodward. He said, when you have a vision, you will look like this dog for people with no vision, which is most people. But imagine you're standing in your home, standing somewhere, you look out on a big grass field, and you see a dog on this grass field, jumping around, running around in circles, diving down in the grass, kind of rolling over, diving down in the grass, up, running again, left, right, running in circles, diving down in the grass again. And yeah, you look at that dog and you probably would think like, this dog is probably a little crazy. Something is not 100% in the head of this dog. It looks mad. But you know what? What you didn't see was the rabbit that the dog was chasing. Be okay with it, people telling you that you're naive or you're like stupid to believe you can create big things with it, no matter what your goals are, right? There's too many evidence that you can reach your goals here. No matter if it's 500 extra months or it's 500,000 extra months. Of course, the more you want, the harder you have to work and the longer is the process, the bigger self-image. But the further you go, the further you can see. But opinions, it doesn't matter what other people believe on, what you do or your vision, or look at people who have what you want to have and ask them. I never had a person with better results than I had who told me that I couldn't do it. Never happened. I didn't meet one person in this profession who was very successful that asked for advice who didn't believe I couldn't do it. That's why I can tell you, if you're new here, trust me, I've had the privilege to work with thousands of people in this profession, and you have many of the top leaders in the One Wonder family. Ask them if they believe you can do it. Because it doesn't matter how low your self-image is today. The question is, are you willing to pay the price? Working hard on yourself every day. Working hard on the business every day. If you're willing to do that, and you build that self-image, it's just about a question about time when you will get there. So let's look at the system here for going from goal setting to goal achieving. The reason it took so much time on the self-image, and that is because that's where it begins. For me, it took me years to start understanding this. It took me so many years to start believing bigger about me. Start believing that I could do it. Start believing that this was not hocus pocus stuff with auto-suggestion, burning desire. When I studied successful people, I started realizing that no matter what field I studied successful people in business, so many thanked this book. Even Eminem thanked this book. So, Think and Grow Rich. But now coming into the new year, when you sit down, I don't want you to do any New Year's resolution like average producers are doing. I want you to really start diving deep in designing your life. Design where you want to be 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years, 10 years from now. Start designing your life. Start with the end in mind. Where do you want to go? Because then you can break that down to a 10-year goal, to a 5-year goal, 3-year goal, yearly goal, monthly goal, weekly goal. The key is to break it down to those daily actions, because it is the right daily activity over time that will give you the outcome you want. The right daily activity over time equals success. Habits plus time equals results, for good and bad. So let's dive in. You can find this after this training. Go to One Mondo Global on Facebook and go to files, and you find this Living Your Best Year Ever. Darren Hardy, who was the publisher for Success Magazine. My first company I was with for 5.5 years. We had a yearly event in Las Vegas. I was there 6 times, 9 to 14. Darren Hardy was always there. And he was the one that taught me these things. And he wrote this book, Living Your Best Year Ever. So I summarized it for you. You have it there, you can download it and start using it. Use it to write your goals. So here's how it works. When you sit with it these days, you can watch the recording on this training from here to remind yourself if you need help. I won't go super deep, but I want you to, this is what I do every year. I did it for the last 13 years. This will probably be the 13th time I do it, right? So I end the year between 29, 30, 31 there. I do this because I cash out the year and then want to cash in the new, right? So cash out or check out for New Year, where I start with a year in review. And this is how I can go back every year and see how I was thinking, like where I was at a year ago and compare. And that's, if you don't track it, it's hard to see progress, right? It's hard to see the progress you made over the last decade. So year in review, that's where it starts. 10 greatest happenings from last year. Then I start brainstorming with myself, writing down, for example, this year, I'm going to start now these days because I do it I've started a little, but for example, I write down 20, 30 things. Yep, I helped this partner reach this goal. This partner, the team hit this goal. That was huge. My ranking has been Black Ambassador. Maldives, me and my fiance got pregnant. This trip to this, I was in Montalcino, this. So I write down 20, 30 great happenings. And then I choose the top 10. And here I start from a position of gratitude. Start seeing how good life can be, right? And you should focus on the good things in your life. And then write down, I'm most proud of these 3 accomplishments from last year. Then I write 3 greatest lessons I've learned from last year. 3 personal improvements I've made in the past year. If I could go back and do it again, I would do these things differently last year. So start writing down for 2022, summarize your year. The greatest influences, products, people, viewpoints, events, whatever. Smartest decisions I made last year. Most caring service I performed this year. Biggest risk, most important relationship improved. 3 things I need to do less in the next year. Let's look at the habits, what do you need to do? What's funny? When you did this, when you track daily activity, weekly activity for 1 year, next year when you do your goals, when you go back and check your activities, how many exercises, how many presentations, how many new partners, customers, your total customer number, when you go back and see, you can actually measure the progress. And then this starts becoming very fun. So I start with a year in review. 3 amazing people in my life are, stuff like that. 3 ways I experience luck in my life. So you can download it there. All of this, I recommend. Print it, write in it. And then I do a life assessment to do a life wheel to see where I'm at in my life in different areas. Because I want you to do this in different areas of your life. So there's questions, life assessment, relationships and family. For example, I spend at least 10 hours of focused time with my family each week, 1 to 5, and then you add up the score along the questions, and then you do here 1 to 10. You have description in it. And then you do this in relationship, family, spiritual, mental, lifestyle, business, financial. And then you can see year after year if you're progressing. And then I break it down to goals. For example, business, what you'd like to accomplish this year, write down Cinzino customer number, rank, financial, how much invested I want in my stocks. Do I want to buy a new real estate this year as well? And physical, how many exercises do I want to do? For example, I wrote down my goal for 2022 was I want to do 150 exercises this year, but I'll end up probably 30-40% short of that goal. So I'm not going to hit that goal. I'm going to end, probably 25% below. But now I know for next year, now I set a new goal, new target, and then I break it 150 exercises, 52 weeks. If I just count 50 of them, it's only 3 a week I need to do exercises to hit 150 a year. Easy, right? Then family, my family life, spiritual, lifestyle, relationships. Then I write down goals in this area. Then I break it down to top 10 goals for the year. Category, goal, deadline. Then I break it down to your top 3 banner goals. Which goal will have the biggest impact on my life? For example, if you want freedom, or you have a lot of people, you want to spend more time with your family and you want to give to a charity, you want to do something, maybe money is the biggest factor that will give you the opportunity to experience the travels you want, to live how you want, to give back to your thing. So that's why maybe the biggest there is for you to go crown. Maybe that is the biggest banner goal for you, or director, or diamond. So, but write top 10 and then break it down to top 3. 150 exercises, 3 a week. Absolutely, is going to be there with me as well. So, just some examples that share my thoughts, just for you to see how I think a little. Then the magic factor is going deeper. It's an exercise where you go deeper who you need to become in order to allow you to achieve this, because goal achieving is actually most part is becoming. So looking at here, okay, earn extra 100,000 income next year. This example in the sheet, right? It says, if the example is earn $100,000 extra, write down, who do I need to become? Feed your mind with what? And then under new habits, disciplines, behaviors you need to start. Then it's existing healthy habits that you're doing. Break it down. Poor habits you need to get rid of. So you break down. And then you go deeper. Top 3 modifications, how I'll implement them into my daily routine. And here you go in depth. But if you don't go in depth on yourself, how can you help yourself to go in depth, to find that power to keep pushing when you don't feel like it, which is going to be too many days of next year? Here's where you need to go back to design your life. Here's where you need to do that vision board. Have clarity in why you do what you do. Too often, we don't lack the willpower. We lack the why power. Because that it's deep down in that why, to know why you do things, to know why you should push through, to know why you should leave your family and sit in meetings to help your family in the long run. You need to know why, whatever reasons are there for you. And then your plan of action. Goal 1, crown. Okay. Direct actions. Sponsor 2 people left and right. Okay. Then I need 4 people. Maybe I need to meet 20 people to sponsor 4. Boom. Invite 20 people. It's the first action. Boom. Next goal on health, whatever it is, right? So take time, do these things. For me, change my life, change my outcome. Every year I see growth mentally, spiritually, financially. But most importantly, in happiness, in myself, in my self-image, step by step. It's a step-by-step process. You can't think you're going to plant the seeds now, writing down these goals and taking action for 3 weeks and change your goal. No, you plant now, You have to water it and 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 water it. Then you reap in the future. Sometimes you can hear people, yeah, but if I take massive, maybe it takes me to 2028 to hit my goals. I'm going to be 62 then. Yeah, but if you don't hit your goals, how old are you going to be in 5 years? The same, right? 5 years, you're going to have the same age anyway. So you might as well take the right small daily actions to hit your goals. And if you actually have intentionality in this, you can actually balance work, life, and family. Then, of course, you're out of balance in some area every now and then. Maybe you do a 90-day run and you tell your family, I'm going to be a little less home the next 90 days because I'm out there for us, creating the life for us that we want, the lifestyle, how we want to live our life. So the actions you need to take, but here comes the key. Here comes the key. It's the tracker, the weekly rhythm register tracker. This is the key of the whole thing. You're writing down the goals, designing, but this is the key, the weekly rhythm register. So every week I have this. So it's a blank. Here, this is an example. When you do this, because here is where you start designing, creating that life that you want. For example, 3 additional columns, the behavior to the left. For example, if I write 3 exercises this week, and then I write on goal, in the column goal, I write down 3. If it was exercises, 3. And then I do an X, the day I did it. If you do more than 1 a day, you write X and 2. Maybe it's short presentations, because if you want to grow your Senzino business, the question is, how many new people are meeting every day? How many new people are you talking to every day? So maybe you write short presentations, 21, which is only 3 a day. So if you do 3 a day presentations, maybe you write 21 in goal, and then Monday I did 5, I do X and 5. I hope you get the concept. Read 10 pages of a book, example, 5 days a week. Then I'll do X in the evening before I go to bed. I did it today. Yes, X, 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 X. Daily journaling. I always have journaling at the bottom. 7. Then I can see an X in the evening if I did it this day. So every day I check out. I read what I'm going to do tomorrow. So I have clarity. Clarity in the daily actions. Try this for January. Maybe you think like, oh, this sounds like a lot of work. Yeah. Not getting the results you want out of life takes as much work. But the only question is, work on what? Who knows? Based on how you felt that day, because you have no direction. This creates clarity. And reaching goals is always action, plan, do, review, adjust, right? Plan, do, review, adjust. If you're not tracking, how can you review? Some people just plan, do. They never review, they never adjust, they don't get better. They just keep hitting the head in the wall like a fly in the home. Sometimes you see a fly in the home, they just keep bouncing. Window is open, but they still stand in the part of the window that is closed and just boom, 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 boom. No. Plan and do, then review, and then adjust. Plan, do, review, adjust. And then goal, you see in the sheet, total goals for the week on this sheet was 54. We hit 39. So now we can do a percentage on how consistent we are. Now this becomes a game. And when this became a game for me, it became really fun to see how consistent I was. Maybe, the first week I was at 65. Okay, great. Fell off the horse. Up again. Let's adjust for next week. Let's set new goals, new target. Okay, I was not consistent last week. Okay, Marco, let's see how I'm going to be consistent now. And when you track your activity, you know what I realized what is classic? When you start tracking your activity, the first 2 weeks, I just realized wow, I don't do anything with my business. It's so easy to trick yourself. You think you're so busy. Yeah, you're active, but busy doing what? When you start tracking, you realize that Okay, maybe I'm busy with the wrong things. I'm becoming really good. I'm majoring in where I spend my time. I'm becoming good at. I'm majoring in the minor things. Okay, let's switch it around and let's start majoring in the major things. Intentionality, clarity of direction, right habits over time is what will take it. This system changed my life. And people who do this, they always see growth. Not the first 2-3 weeks, but do this 2023. Challenge yourself to do this for 1 year. And you will see that there's no limits to what you can do if you combine this action with building your self-image, your self-belief. So focus on right actions takes time, but focus on the wrong actions takes time. Chilling, relaxing, just playing around takes time. Play now and pay later, or pay now and play later. Muhammad Ali said, I'm going to make the sacrifice and work hard now for years so I can live the rest of my life like a champion. And you becoming a champion for yourself, for your family, best thing you can do, best gift you can give yourself, building that self-image. Because with a good self-image, you'll become a better human being. You'll become a happier human being. A happier you, better you, wiser you will make you a better husband, wife, father, mother, cousin, friend, leader, everything. So small daily actions over time is what will give it. But at the end of the day, we must all suffer from one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. So also in the Cinzino sheet, if you go to lead and you press there, you can download the goal setting sheet. You can also fill it in online. Cinzino's created it for you. So you can set your goal plan for 2023. You can write down why you do Cinzino, your top 10 goals for the Cinzino business, personal customers today, where you want to be December 2023. And then you can also use this for Cinzino business. So you can write it in your daily tracker. Here we got my vision board. Here's my house where I'm going to live. As I have how I want to live. Up to the right, you can see a 100-year-old yoga teacher. Look at her up there, fresh. It's a bunny up in the right. She's 100-year-old. It's a 100-year-old. You can Google 100-year-old yoga teacher. Still flexible, 100 years old. That's inspiring. I have me and my fiance. I have a future family, kids. I have 100 million. That's assets I'm going to have, or my family going to have 20 years from now, 100 million in assets, 1 million in monthly income, charity. That's what I also want to do with the One Mondo family, right? We're going to create a One Mondo charity. If we create a lot of wealthy people in this family, imagine how many people we can help with adopted villages, creating working spaces, building schools for kids, just like Cinzino do as well. And lifestyle, right? And then the kids, tennis. They're going to play tennis. I'm attracting that in as well. And then you see there, down is a 90-year-old. The guy you see, this is a very inspiring story. Look at the guy down there. You can see in the middle, to the left, with glasses. He had been a butcher 40 years, tried network marketing, but then at 74, he made a decision. He's still with the same company. Today he has made over 50, between 74 and 92, he has made over $50 million with the same company, still with that company. Me, Richie, Javier was there. We walked with him at the Mastermind event 4 years ago, 2017, at the Mastermind event. He was there. And we walked with him. He was 90 years old. He walked straight, carried himself well. That was inspiring. To see a man at 90 years old, see a person at 90 years walking straight, carrying himself, still got a pep in the step, still do trainings, events at 90 years old. That's inspiring. That's what I want to. That's why I have him there, because that's the health I'm shooting for. 90 years old, still rocking these team calls, still rocking the mastermind event, hopefully, still helping people win. And if you see what I wrote there, it says what he said. In 2002, at 74 years old, I found out that there was a business where I could spend a few $100 to get started, eat my overhead, because you get products per starter kit, right? So you can eat your overhead, become healthy, fail 90% of the time, and become obscenely wealthy. What do you think I said? I can do this. He has a lot of, I don't remember, 15 grandchildren or whatever it was. I don't remember how many it was. He has paid college for all of them. His name is Jimmy. If Jimmy can do it, so can you. So I hope I challenge you with some thoughts today. I hope I challenge you with my vision board to think bigger, because I fought too small for too many years. Probably that's why I haven't achieved more than I have, because I was thinking too small for too long, because little me with a little self-image, doubted myself, doubted I could do this. Today I live the dreams I had then, yes, but I still have a long way to go in personal growth, in what I want to achieve. And I'm excited for what we're going to create there in the One Wonder family over the next many decades to come. And I'm happy to be part of Cinzino, which is really helping people, health with a wealth, but also behind the scenes, how these companies run. You can be proud to represent this company. This is your first company's profession. Congratulations. You never have to look to the left or right again. Take this serious, what I shared tonight, for you and your family. Because I've seen too many evidence of what you can achieve if you put your mind to it. Because if you believe it, you can achieve it. The process is to get yourself to believe it. For me, it was a journey, 2 years, but I stayed consistent every day. And I still do, because I need to be better. I need to become better, because I know the better I become, the more effective I become in helping people. Because as it said in my vision board, just want to share that quote I have here. Because if you see what it says in the middle, service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. Because this world need people who care about people. And that's why I'm proud of you in this One Wonder family. I know many of you personally, and all of you that I know personally in this group, you're great people. So I'm proud to be part of the same team as you are. If you have any questions, the training is over. For download, go to One Mondo Global on Facebook, press files, download this, and start working it, because you are worth it. You're worth taking the time, because you, yourself, your body and your mind and your head is where you're going to live the rest of your life. You might as well start adjusting the mindset, start building that self-image, that belief, because you've got the inner power already that's needed for you to create greatness and create success. And what success is for you, that's up to you. But go out and achieve that. So thank you very much, everybody. And this is the last team call for this year. So Merry Christmas to all of you and a Happy New Year. And see you in Rome. Can't wait to give you a big hug in Rome. If you haven't got your ticket, get your ticket. And I'm going to post, or I did post in the beginning, if you didn't see it in the chat, it's there where you can find the ticket if you haven't bought your ticket yet. So see you in Rome, but happy holidays for you. Celebrate that and get to work on yourself with the system you just got. Better you means a better life for many other people out there if you share the message. So thank you very much, and see you soon. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas.